I know you said your father was, in the business. There's pros and cons. We're in the hip hop game. The hip hop game is about struggle, if you think about it. Most guys, when you read about it, you don't hear about the dad until we became way successful. But usually, most guys in the hip hop game grew up with a mom. That was mom and dad. They grew up on a struggle, not having a lot. We didn't have a lot, but I was always around for Jermaine, so it was a little different. So I think as he took off in this area, there was always, okay, let me make sure I represent properly. So it was an interesting dynamic, but I always had his back. I was always looking out, and I think that was cue for him to know that somebody's always there, making sure that he was, that he was being taken care of, and he didn't even have to ask, because it was, he was in a direct extension of me, and I was going to make sure of that. And then, like I said, most people from the outside looking in thought I just managed him. They didn't even realize, by us not using the same last name, they didn't realize I was his dad. Unless he went with us to the airport or something, he had to show ID. Well, back then we didn't even have to show ID at the airport. So, as Jermaine's father, and this is a good example, if you were working with Jermaine and he was like, man, I don't want to hear that, 9 times out of 10 you step back. As his dad, I can step back, but I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, it's much respect. I mean, Jermaine's a grown man, so we don't go at it like that. We do disagree, and every now and then we have to have our one-on-one conversations, but it's a lot of respect, I think, both ways. I just feel blessed, like I said, to have him around. But yeah, no, man, it's anytime. It's no different than a marriage or whatever. You have your good days, you have your bad days, and you have times when it feels like it should be all good, but then you remember something that was said last night, and you're like, it just totally screws it back up again. You start all back over. But yeah, you go through it. You go through it. I mean, in a lot of ways, a lot of times it makes it harder. I was just telling somebody, Bow Wow and his mom is doing this. They were on VH1. It's about momagers, and they showed Justin and his mom, and they showed Alicia and her mom, and they, and different ones, Lindsay Lohan and her mom, and Brittany and her mom, and it was kind of like the momagers and the ones that, but most of the time these guys really, I mean, this is their mom. So a lot of times, as a father, I have to say that I think we get the short end of the stick sometimes, because particularly for male artists, they tend to want to take care of their mom and cater to their mom. Oh, that's dad. He gonna find a way for himself. So so that creates a lot of interesting dynamics in a lot of ways. I think that anybody that represents or manages anybody, or somebody that's picking up the phone calling every day, you're definitely taking on a father figure or a mother figure type of role with them in a lot of ways, because you whether you want to or not, you end up finding out a whole lot more than sometimes you even want to know. You know a lot of the personal business and their financial business and where things are. So you really do. It makes it very easy to do. But a lot of times, like even now, I mean, Jermaine and I, we have projects together. We still do stuff together. But on a day-to-day right now, I don't manage Jermaine. But he does his own thing. He has some other managers that work with him in different areas. But obviously, he's an executive up at Island Def Jam. You don't need nobody to manage him while he's being that executive of Island Def Jam, or now even the Tag Records thing. But he has more. He has turned it into, again, like you said, a brand and a piece where now he can take pieces of that and connect those dots.